Relocating to Frisco, Texas, watch these cons before moving.
You've probably seen the highlight reels of luxury shopping, new schools, and the perfect suburban parks. Well, we're going to share some things that most realtors won't tell you to make sure that you are fully prepared before making that move.
Because once you've moved, it's a little too late to find out if Frisco's exactly what you were looking for. This video walks you through the real drawbacks from affordability to transit issues, so that you can move with confidence without getting scammed into a place that just really doesn't fit your lifestyle.
But before we get started, I'm Holly Haven.
And I'm Andy Haven.
And we are the Haven Home Team. We are your North Texas resource for all things real estate. We want you to stay tuned to the end of this video for the bonus tip that might actually be the game changer.
Con number one, we have crazy hot temperatures.
Yeah, summers can definitely get into the hundreds, especially in August. But it's not so much that, temperature, it's really the humidity.
Yeah, the humidity here in the Dallas, North Texas area is a lot worse than other parts of Texas. Not as bad as Houston, I will say. But if you've been to other states and you feel like it's the 90s are hot or the hundreds are hot, you just really don't understand the Texas hot until you've actually experienced it.
But if you're not used to that extreme heat, it's definitely going to take a little time to kind of get acclimated.
Yeah, but I will say the good thing about Frisco is there are lots of options to do indoor activities in the summer. So you don't have to be a part of the hot Texas weather if you don't want to. And we have a lot of water parks and outdoor water activities that are good for kids as well.
Absolutely. And our fall and spring months are really temperate. We don't get that crazy, 2 months of ice and snow.
Yeah.
So we kind of balance it out with having really nice, accommodating weather for 9 months out of the year.
Yeah, I will say that if you are moving to Texas right this second, in June, July, August, you are experiencing some of the worst weather we have here in Texas. But I will say that this year it has been pretty moderate.
Yeah, so just go ahead, pack those cold towels, prepare yourself to park in the shade, know what you're getting into, and we'll see you guys back in the fall when things cool down and you're able to leave your house again.
Yeah, and that'll become a pro. Our weather will become a pro in the fall.
Absolutely. Con number 2, everything feels the same.
Yeah, if you are from the East or West Coast in some of these older towns that have not had developments in many, many years, you might come to Frisco and think, wow, every single thing looks plain, boring, and the same.
Yeah, it was pretty much, everything was developed in the late 90s. So all of the buildings kind of have that same just kind of brick, blocky look. It's not fancy architecture. It definitely kind of kills what you might be looking for in a charming area or a charming downtown shopping. We have some cool little spaces around Dallas, but as a whole, when you get to this Frisco area, everything just kind of feels like a good old strip center, right? Lots of orthodontists and
there
CVS.
are a lot of strip malls. On pretty much any street corner, you are going to find a new strip mall. Yes. And again, that was a very 90s thing. So as you move north, you are seeing newer construction. You're seeing different types of developments, more modernized developments. But for the most part, everything in Frisco is very clean, very safe. It's a great place to live, but the con would be that you're not getting that beautiful architecture that you might get somewhere on the East Coast.
Yeah, and one of the big feedback things we get from new homeowners to Texas is that the houses all kind of look the same. We kind of get that.
We hear that a lot.
Cookie cutter, phrasing. And it's because homes were built around the same time. It keeps the uniformity of a neighborhood. But honestly, neighborhood to neighborhood, they look pretty similar normally.
Yeah, and I will say, just based off of the market right now that we're looking at, a lot of these houses are going to start looking different once you get into the 70s and 80s. Once you get into the 90s, 2000s, and current times, a lot of those homes are based on trends, less than they were back in the past. So if that's something you're looking for, we can definitely help you find a house that has character so that you feel like a little bit more at home if that's something you're used to.
Yeah, the benefit to all of this is everything feels clean and new, even if it feels a little bit uniform across the board.
Yeah. Con number 3 is we have a very limited nightlife option in Frisco.
Yeah, I would say Frisco definitely carries more of that family-friendly community vibe and less of, the downtown club party vibe.
Yeah, well, I mean, Frisco is a suburb, so it's not something that you're not coming to Frisco to walk the downtown area generally, unless you're going to a sporting event or farmer's market or something like that. So we don't have that walkability that Dallas does for that nightlife. But I will say that a lot of the developments in Frisco have been more oriented around family entertainment, food, bars, stuff like that, but maybe not as many options as you would find on a Dallas street.
Yeah, the benefit to being in Frisco is you get that nice community family vibe, but you're a short drive to Dallas. If you're looking for that nightlife, kind of situation or that occasion, then it's not a far commute. Con number 4 is it's expensive, especially housing.
Yeah, so a lot of the housing in Frisco, on average, you're about $640,000 on average in Frisco. But if you're comparing it to McKinney or Plano, you can get in there around $550,000, which does make those areas a little bit more affordable. But generally in those locations, you are going to get older homes, older neighborhoods, which does bring some more updates, but potentially larger lots, larger neighborhoods, stuff like that.
Yeah, you're definitely getting the location specific. That's really what you're paying for, is kind of to be in Frisco and have all the access to all of the things right there inside Frisco. You can expect to pay a little bit more. And we say that average is $640. We're definitely seeing a lot more homes hit that $1 million and above mark in Frisco. And we're still seeing any little spaces that have development options left in Frisco, they're putting in large estate, multi-million-dollar homes.
Yeah, Frisco has become more of an executive area. There's a lot of CEOs and business owners that are moving to the area because of our tax breaks that we do have here. So that makes it a little bit more convenient for some of those higher end buyers. But Frisco does still have some really great options in the $400,000 and $500,000 price point. That can be an option for all families. Con number 5, we have smaller lots in newer communities. So piggybacking off of our last con, it is something that if you're moving to the area, you do assume that you're moving to Texas, you're getting that land, you're going to be on an acre for under $500,000. Definitely not in Frisco, and probably not even within 45 minutes. But it is something that you should be aware of.
Absolutely. If you look for a slightly older home in Frisco, they're still, fairly new. We talked about really Frisco started being developed in the late 90s. So you can get larger lots, you can get beautiful homes, nice square footage, and still really get in there at a price point that I would call still affordable. But guys, you really are paying for that access like we talked about. When you have a lot of demand because you have highly rated schools, you have a lot of amenities nearby right there in the city of Frisco and then closely adjacent, it's going to continue to kind of keep those prices higher.
Yeah, but also you have to take advantage of those new community options if that's something you're looking for, because those are starting to fade out in Frisco and moving more north. So if that's something that you see and that's an opportunity you want to take, that's something you need to do fast.
Con number 6, having a car is a must. There is no public transit.
Yeah, and this is not really just a con about Frisco. This is pretty much all of North Texas. We don't have great public transit systems. We do have the DART that goes from Plano to Dallas, but that's pretty much our only long form transportation.
Yeah, there's a bus system, but again, that's more towards that Plano side. You're definitely going to need a car. Frisco is not what we would consider a walkable city. And there's very few spots inside Frisco that we would say park and walk and spend the afternoon. There's a few of those down by the rail yard, in the Star. We're going to see that more with PGA as it continues to develop. Mm-hmm. But right now, we're definitely really saying this is a suburban neighborhood. You're going to need to drive.
Yeah, that's non-negotiable. Here is our bonus tip. We do want to mention that Frisco can be considered a more pretentious area.
Yeah, you definitely have that vibe of lots of big SUVs, high-priced cars, the luxury shopping that has come to the Star area, and high-end restaurants kind of continue to push the narrative.
Yeah, and it is one of those things that if you've seen online, the North Texas mommy, that is something that Frisco gets named often. You have the pickleball moms, you have the corporate business owners. Yeah. It is just one of those things that you have to be aware of. And it's not for the entire town. It's just kind of how Frisco got its name.
Yeah, and you're going to see, certain neighborhoods always carry a different community vibe. We're not saying people are not friendly. We are saying that you might get the feeling that it looks and feels pretentious.
Yes, and I think that also is something that a lot of the homeowners, they want a luxurious feel. And sometimes they may push the more affluent narrative rather than feeling a little bit more neighborly, but that's not their intention. It is a very great community vibe. And I think also these communities are different feel for everybody. So you should drive the neighborhood, meet some neighbors, get a feel for what you're looking for, because not every neighborhood is perfect for everyone.
Yeah, and if you just don't think you'll feel super, comfortable in a place that feels a little too lush or a little too expensive, there's still places for you in Frisco. We just want you to know that online and on the internet, you're going to see those, that pretentious kind of narrative.
Yeah, they try to push that very heavily. But if you liked this video, please go ahead and leave us a comment, like the video, share to all of your friends if they are looking to move to Frisco so that they know what to expect. And we will have some more videos on Frisco coming up soon.
Bye, guys.